Hello and welcome. In this lecture, we'll understand what is object-oriented programming, what are classes, what are objects, and we also write our first Java program, and then we'll compile it and we'll run it. Okay, so let's get started. What is object-oriented programming? Object-oriented programming is a programming paradigm based on the concept of objects. So here, everything is an object. These objects represent the real world entities, and objects will have a state and behavior. And what is it? We'll understand very soon. Now you understand that Java is a object-oriented programming language. Suppose you are given a task to solve a problem. To suppose you are going to create a system or software that will solve some banking related issues or bank a solution for banks. So in a object oriented programming paradigm, how you'll get started is you'll first try to identify what are the possible objects. So in a banking system, what could be the objects? We as a customer could be set of objects. There could be thousands of customers. Your account could be one object. The loan account could be one object. Credit cards could be one object. Bank managers could be a different type of objects. So you first identify all those objects, then you try to establish a relationship among these objects, and as and when required, you may try you may manipulate these objects to create your system. So this is what is called object oriented programming concept or paradigm. You identify the objects, then you establish a relationship between them or among them, and that is how you will create your system. Now suppose you are trying to build a software for your school or for some schools. So how will get started? You will first identify the possible objects. So what could be the possible objects? Students, teachers, departments. Once these objects are identified, you will establish a relationship among them, and you will manipulate those objects whenever required. Then you can build your system or software. Similarly, as I was discussing, in a banking system, you could start with identifying the objects like customers like us, then something like loans, accounts, managers, etc. Once these things are identified, then you can establish a relationship to create your banking software. Now, in object oriented programming or in Java, there are two important concepts or building blocks that are classes and objects. What are classes? Classes are blueprints or templates using which you can create objects. Objects are real time entities. So let me give an example. Suppose you are going to build a software for your school or your college. So in that system, student could be a blueprint or a class, but its implementation, Rohit is a student, Virat is a student. So these real time implementations of these blueprints are called instances or objects. Okay, so a class can have two important things. One is properties, other is behaviors. Properties means, suppose a student will have properties like student name, student roll number, department, etc, right? And the behavior means actions. What actions the students can take? Student can take exam, student can provide his presentations, or student can uh, attend the lab classes, attending lab classes. All these could be the behaviors. So now when you create the objects for these students, you each of the implementation, I mean each suppose you are creating a student called Rohit will have different properties, different behavior. Similarly, if you are creating a object called Rahul could have a different properties and different behavior. Suppose you are going to build some cars. So what you will do? You will start with a blueprint. Okay, you create a blueprint, and that blueprint is called class. Then you identify what could be the properties of the car, like it will have wheels, engines, and brakes. Then you will identify the behaviors, like you can start, stop, brake, etc, right? Once you create this blueprint, using this blueprint you can create many instances or many implementations of this, and that will be the real time cars. Okay, and these cars which are running on your road or you are using this, they are called objects. But the machine that creates this similar or same kind of, not same, similar kind of cars, that is called blueprint. So it will define the blueprint, it define what will be its properties and what will be its behaviors. Okay, so class will have, as I was mentioning, it will have properties, or we call them instance variables, and it will have behaviors and we call them instance methods. Okay, so in car class the properties could be car model, car color, car engine, and the behavior could be starting the car, accelerating the car, applying brake. So this could be the behaviors. Okay, now see, this is a car class. So this is how we write classes in Java. If you'll see, string model is an instance variable or property, string color is a property. Then if you'll see in the down here, you'll see the methods start, stop. Okay, now this is the car class. Now how to create objects? Now we create objects using new keyword. So you write class name, then the instance name new car, and you provide this red SUV car specific details, like the model name is SUV and the color is red. Similarly, you create a different object called green sports car. The color is green, and the model is sports model. So this is how you create objects in the class. Okay, so once these classes are created, how the operating system understands what it has to do? Once you write the class, what we do, we take help of Java compiler. So once you write the class .java file, if you write Java C, then hello world.java, it will compile and generate a bytecode. Now this bytecode is called .class file. Now this bytecode can be taken into any operating system where there is JVM. If the operating system has JVM, then that operating system can run this bytecode. Okay, now this bytecode can be given to JVM, and JVM will convert this bytecode to machine level code, and it will give it to the operating system, and operating system will give the final output. So this is how the Java program typically runs. What you first write the .java file, then you use Java compiler. Java compiler converts the .java file to bytecode. Now that bytecode is given to JVM. Now JVM converts the bytecode to machine level code, and the operating system can understand the machine level code and give the final output. So this, as I was telling you, this bytecode can be given to any operating system, provided they have their own JVM. So JVM is platform dependent because each operating system has their own implementation of JVM. So if the operating system has a JVM, it can take the same bytecode, convert it to machine code, and give you the same output. Because once the Java bytecode is generated, it can run in any operating system and generate same output. That is why Java is called platform independent. But if you see, JVM is not platform independent. JVM is platform dependent. Each operating system has their own implementation of the JVM.